Hello beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. So I was a little hesitant to do today's video. I was going back and forth and I was like, should I do it? Should I not do it? I'm just like, F it. I'm gonna do it. It could be a little bonding experience for all of us pregnant mamas out there. And it's to talk about the pregnancy TMI symptoms, or like the pregnancy symptoms that aren't really discussed as much as other symptoms. Or maybe even just ones that kind of threw me off guard that I didn't expect to experience. I will say though that every single pregnancy is different. This is going to be our third child. It's my first girl. But pregnancies are so different from one another. Like two of my friends and I, we all gave birth within a few days of each other. And all three of our pregnancies and all three of our labor and delivery stories are completely different, and it's just so crazy to me how we can all go through like the same thing but different things at the same time, if that makes sense. So this is going to be a little bit on the TMI side, so if you're a man and don't want to know about girls' pregnancy things, then you should just be gone now. Or if you just don't want to know about girls' pregnancy things in general, you should leave now. This is your warning. But without further ado, let's just jump right in. Okay, so I did write some stuff down. I'm going to try to start with like the mild things that, you know, I feel like might be a little more common before we get into the crazier things. So the first thing I'll mention is shortness of breath. It's not just a third trimester thing, guys, okay? It actually starts pretty early on, especially for me. I don't know if it's because it's my third pregnancy or if it's because I'm having a girl for the first time, but my shortness of breath started before my belly popped, honestly. Like, I was just so winded. And if you guys look back at my videos before I announced I was pregnant, you can kind of tell that there's a few moments where I have to like catch my breath. But yeah, shortness of breath starts super early. It's not just a third trimester thing at all. The next one really affects me. Some people may have it more than others, but sensitive gums and teeth. So I got my braces off in October, so I was 5 months pregnant at the time, and I have to wear retainers during the day, but they hurt because your gums are already sensitive when you're pregnant because increased blood flow and all that jazz. So like wearing my retainers makes my gums swollen even more. And so it's just like they're already like pregnancy swollen, and then you add the retainers to it, and they're just like so sensitive. I like barely take dental floss and it touches my gum and it's just like gushing blood. It's ridiculous how sensitive my gums are. It's actually very annoying sometimes, but yeah, so sensitive gums and teeth. The next one is itchy legs. So annoying. Like, I'll literally just be laying there and I'm just like, and then, you know, once you start, you can't stop, and it's just this whole thing. But itchy legs, this has probably been the worst pregnancy with itchy legs for me. It's been pretty bad. So I basically just keep lotion on standby and just try to like rub my legs with the lotion instead of sitting there scratching, because as we all know, scratching makes it worse. I try not to, but sometimes I just can't help it. You know what I mean? You just gotta scratch it. And speaking of scratchy or itchy skin, okay, it's itchy legs, itchy stomach, and itchy nipples. Okay, because my next point, which is your nipple. Now, obviously, we all know that the girls get bigger. Okay, they get bigger and more vivacious. But not only do the girls get bigger, but your actual areolas get bigger and they get darker. And that's because when babies are born, it's easier for them to see things in contrast. So your areolas get bigger and darker, so that way the baby can find your nipple more easily. They do go back to normal once you're done breastfeeding, but I feel like that's one of the earlier changes, like that basically starts right away. And obviously because they're growing, they also get itchy. And it's just like, it's not like your nipples are an easy area to itch, you know what I mean? Because they're growing, they're itchy, they're sensitive, so you don't want to scratch them. So like what I do is I just like take a towel and I'm just like rubbing it on my nipple area to try to ease some of the itchiness. But everything itches, everything, where it's a whole thing. Okay. The belly itching is probably the easiest to fix though, because I just like take my belly lotion and then just give myself a nice little massage, and usually that tames it pretty quickly. But the itchy legs and the itchy nipples, it's like, ugh, they're the worst, honestly. My next point is body odor. Okay. And again, this is one of the things that happened earlier on too, at least with me specifically. Obviously you have more blood flow, you have more hormones, you have a whole lot of everything happening. So it throws off your body's pH, and you can be a little more stinkier than when you're not pregnant. Okay. I will be the first to admit to this. I hate it because not just me. Nobody likes stinking, okay? And I just don't like being stinky. So it's like my least favorite part of pregnancy, honestly, is the body odor that can happen. But just make sure, if you have to bathe twice a day, then go ahead and do that. Just get yourself some good deodorant. But yeah, it's just, it's a little stinky sometimes, okay? It's just part of the beauty of pregnancy. So the next one is being super gassy, and it's coming out of both ends basically. So it's a whole lot of extra burping and a whole lot of extra flatulence, if you know what I mean, okay? And it's just like, you can drink a glass of water and it gives you gas. And obviously it's because everything is shifting up. But it's real annoying. Like literally a glass of water will make me gassy, and I'm just sitting there burping a bunch of times. Like, all I do is drink water, okay? And this is what I get for it. But yeah, so super gassy on both ends. This one I feel like is kind of a common thing, and it's discharge. We all get it, okay? Every single woman on this planet has had discharge, okay? But during pregnancy, it can be a lot, and it can get a lot worse. There are some women that it gets so bad to the point where they feel like they have to wear a pad during their pregnancy, or else they have to like change their underwear a bunch of times throughout the day. But discharge does increase a lot during pregnancy. The next one is constipation, okay? And it's not fun. And obviously, as I said, all your organs on the inside are shifting. So obviously your rectum shifts as well, and your intestines and all of that fun stuff. So it can make you pretty constipated, and it can also change the shape of your poop. Depending on how observant you've been with when you use the washroom, you can notice that your pregnancy or your poop changes shape depending on whether you are pregnant or not, because obviously, like I said, everything shifts in there. So not only are you constipated, but when you do poop, it could be weird shapes. So just so you know, that's another thing that is in there. And next one is pee sneezes. Okay, I can't tell you how many times, especially now that I'm getting bigger, where I can have the smallest amount of pee in my bladder and I sneeze and it makes me pee myself a little, okay? And I'm 29 weeks, so I still have 11 weeks to go, and that has already been happening for a while. Granted, this is probably because it's my third child, so, my pelvic floor has been worked already. But yeah, you definitely pee a little when you sneeze, when you cough, when you laugh too hard. It's just all that pressure on your poor little bladder. that makes it pretty easy to accidentally wet yourself. So we only have a few more. And this next one is so true for me. And this time around, it's probably been the craziest, but vivid or wild dreams. Y'all, my dreams when I'm pregnant are wild, okay? And I'll just wake up and I'll be like, what did I even just dream? Like, that literally, like, and what fantasy land did I just conjure that up from? Pregnancy dreams are by far, well, one, they could be kind of entertaining, but at the same time, they're so weird and strange. And I didn't even think my imagination could go that far. But apparently, when you're pregnant, anything's possible. So, the next one is either super high sex drive or no sex drive at all. There's no middle. At least not for me. It's not like, maybe. It's either like a super high sex drive or I have none at all. Please don't touch me. Get away from me. There's nothing in between. It's one or the other. So take it or leave it. And the last one I'm going to talk about, okay, I think it's kind of funny. So everyone talks about the baby kicks, right? And everyone's like, oh, I can feel her kicking, blah, blah, blah. You can see the baby kicking. But I feel like no one talks about being kicked in your butthole. Okay. Okay. And it's so weird to like say that out loud, but especially with this pregnancy, it must be the way that she's positioned. But I can feel her like kicking in the back, and it's such a weird sensation. It's so weird. Like, obviously it already feels like there's an alien trying to protrude out of your body when the baby is kicking, but like when you feel it trying to like kick your butthole, it's wild. Okay, it's such such a weird feeling, and it kind of feels like that urge that you have to poop, but it's just like constant. So it's just like it, she kicks my butthole, and it's just, I don't know how else to describe it, but that's like by far like the weirdest pregnancy sensation, I guess I could say, because never in my life did I think I'll be saying the words, oh, she's kicking my butthole. It's not something I thought I would ever say, but it is by far the funniest thing that I have experienced so far with pregnancy, is just kicks to the butthole. Who would have thought? And that's it, guys. That's all I have to say about TMI pregnancy symptoms at this moment. Please, if you dare, I would love to read them. Let me know your TMI pregnancy symptoms down in the comments below. I think it'll be a fun little bonding experience for all of us. Okay? Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.